Good evening. The Concord Township Board of Zoning Appeals for July 11th, 2018 is now in session. I would like to introduce my board. To my far left is Jim Rowe and Brandon Dines. I'm Ivan Valentic. To my right is Todd Goling and Blair Hamilton. And to my far right is Heather Freeman, our Township Zoning Inspector. Under the advice of council, we ask that anyone speaking tonight please rise and be sworn in. Please stand and raise your right hand. Do you swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help me God. If so, say I do.
I do.
All right, thank you. Please be seated. This evening, when presenting your case or commenting, be sure to come up to the microphone, state your name and address, and confirm that you've been sworn in for the record, okay? Heather, were the legal notices published in a timely manner?
Yes, they were.
Okay, thank you. Tonight, we have 2 appeals. 3-vote majority is required to either approve or deny the appeal. If request is denied, you have the right to file an appeal. All right, first is variance number 2018-33. Oakwood Collection LLC is requesting a variance from section 34.04A to allow for the construction of a fence in the front yard with a height of 6 feet in lieu of the maximum 4 feet permitted for the property located at 10800 Buckingham Place. Please come up and present your case.
Hello, thank you for considering this with me tonight. My name is Elizabeth Wyatt. I am the member of the Oakwood Collection and the resident at the property, 10800 Buckingham Place in Concord.
And you've been sworn in.
Yes.
Thank you. Go ahead and kind of walk us through your appeal tonight.
Well, I am wishing to install a 6-foot high scalloped edge fence, semi-private, along one line of my property that is connected to a series of driveways due to a change in the landscaping and the design of the properties. The original property next to mine was, I believe, a 28-acre parcel that was heavily wooded. And when I checked with that owner, the plans were to build a retirement home way in the back, and we were to share a drive for which I had an easement for my driveway to connect to my driveway pad. This owner changed his mind, divided the property into 3 properties, all with a 50-foot wide, I guess, way to exit to get to the street. So those properties all got sold and all the trees came down along that way. So now we have a strip of 4 driveways. I ended up having to end my easement agreement and build my own driveway because of a neighbor that had that property did not like me having the easement. So we agreed to let go of that and build our own driveway. So as a result, there's 4 driveways there and no trees between them, and it's pretty bare and exposed. And my house is on a 2-acre property, but because my initial plan was to face this 28-acre heavily wooded property, I favored that side of my lot to build the house. And the front of it actually is slanted directly towards this line of driveways because the back then is placed on this arc of a bank. My ravine is in the back. And I only really have a front yard to speak of, so essentially my front yard is a front yard and a backyard for me. My backyard is about 15 feet of gardens, and then I have a 75-foot drop into the ravine. So that's the history there. What I did not place on my variance statement that I think is notable is it's also, the fence would serve as a safety feature. The middle drives are, I don't know, would you say they're like 400 or 500 feet long at least. They're very long driveways, so the stretch that goes past my front yard, the cars that are going into their driveways are really traveling fast, unfortunately, and it makes me a little nervous for safety for pets and kids. And the furthest driveway has an easement, or not an easement, a retention pond that's rather large, and that's not fenced. So that makes me a little nervous around safety issues when I eventually have grandchildren visiting. I can't keep an eye on all of them all the time, I don't think. So that's the history and the reasons behind my interest in the fence. Do any of you have any questions about the materials in your packet that you would like me to explain further?
How much of that, I guess, I don't know, what's the length of fence, section of fence that's in the front yard?
Well, my understanding is that the ordinance is involving any fence that is in front of the front edge of the house. So that,
50 feet then maybe, or 75 feet?
no, that would be more like 140 feet, starting 100 feet from the road. That entire property line is roughly 430 feet. And it approximately starts after a section of front woods that has been left in its natural condition. So the fence is about 100 feet away from the road. And
You have a drawing like this in the packet?
Yeah.
That will do it.
Yeah, there was just no dimension.
It says 100 feet at the road.
But if you drive around the cul-de-sac, you'll never see it.
right.
Look in your rearview mirror.
Maybe in the wintertime, if you looked hard enough, you could see it through the trees, but it is definitely
Yeah, but
not
it's certainly not
obstructing
right-
the view of
right there,
driving or.
yeah.
This, I failed to put an explanation on this photo. This is taken from an upstairs window. This is my drive, and then the next drive over, the second drive, the third drive, the fourth drive. That's my view from my front window.
I don't have any further questions. How about anyone else on the board?
No.
No? You guys good on that end?
No questions.
Okay, you can please be seated.
Okay?
Is there anyone else speaking for or against this appeal that would like to come up?
I do. Brian Flanagan, 10705 Mount Royal Drive in Concord. I serve on the Homeowners Association
You've been
Board.
sworn in, sir?
I have been.
Thank you.
And I'm also on the Architectural Board. We have an approval process for people that are putting fences up within Mount Royal. This particular fence issue has changed quite a few times over the last 10 years. We thought it was our responsibility to approve. Up until maybe March of this year, we didn't realize that the township was taking it back over for 2 acres and above. So we were putting the 11 other property owners through a process of approval. Basically what they have to do is give us their plans. They have to get their neighbors to approve it. Then they have to fall under the guidelines of our fence program. We approved it not knowing that they had to come to Concord for 4 reasons. One is the safety was a big one, but they have a really unique. The only part of Mount Royal where two driveways next to her, the headlights of the cars point into the back of her house. So when they come down their drive, she has no privacy at all on the back, and no one else in Mount Royal has to face that. So if it's at night, especially in the winter, everybody can see the back of her house, and there's a good reason, not just safety, there's a good reason to give her some privacy. The other thing is that it's not anywhere close to the highway. So normally we would contend this being 4 feet versus 6 feet, but it sits back 100 feet from the highway where, like one of the gentlemen here said, we don't think anybody's going to see it, and that's how the neighbors saw it also. They thought it wouldn't apply. So in our view, she has done everything we've asked her to do. She's
Okay.
got the approval, and we ask you to support her in letting her put this fence in.
All right, thank you very much.
You bet.
Is there any questions from the board? Or no?
No.
Okay. Is there anyone else that's speaking for or against this appeal that would like to come up? If there's no further questions, the public hearing for variance number 2018-33 is now closed to the public. I will entertain a motion to approve variance number 2018-33.
So moved.
Second. Okay, we got a motion and a second. Discussion is open for the board. Does anyone have anything to add?
It's just a unique, kind of unusual situation. I mean, you know, certainly it's in the front yard, but
Yeah.
not really. So, I mean, that's kind of oversimplifying, but I think that as far as causing any problem or other, I can imagine. But it's, like you say, you have to kind of make an effort to find the mystery fence.
Yeah, and the neighbors are supporting her
Yeah,
too.
you're right.
Anyone else have any comments?
Nope.
Okay. Okay, then, the question is on the approval of variance number 2018-3. A yes vote is for the approval of the variance, a no vote denies it. Heather, please call the vote.
Mr. Hamilton?
Yes.
Mr. Dines?
Yes.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
Mr. Gawley?
Yes.
Mr. Valenti?
Yes, your variance has been approved. Congratulations. Okay, next is variance number 2018-34. Ms. Jennifer McNeely is requesting a variance from section 15.04B, table 15.04-1 to allow for the construction of an addition onto a single-family dwelling. The side yard clearance is 6 feet in lieu of the minimum 15 feet required for the property located at 11899 Concord Hamden Road.
Hi, I'm Jennifer McNelly. I've been sworn in, and I reside at 11899 Concord Hamden Road. I appreciate your time letting me share tonight why I am requesting this variance. In November, I will have my husband and my family, we will have lived in Concord for 11 years. Over this time, we enjoy this neighborhood very much. Over the past 5 or 6 years, my father has become ill with Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, and it's actually called Lewy body syndrome, that he has these multiple diseases. My mom tried a very long time to care for him in her home. They both live in West Virginia, and she kept him in our family home as long as she could. But this winter, it became clear with multiple falls. They have a 2-story, very large home. He has fallen down the steps, and it's become clear that his needs, she can no longer care for him in that home. So my father she has moved him to a care center, a nursing home. Since then, my mom has now realized that she is alone in this giant farmhouse with 100+ acres, and she can't handle the property herself any longer. She's a cancer survivor, and she needs to take care of her health too. Much to my surprise, about 2 months ago, she said to me, "Hey, what if I move Daddy up to Concord?" And you know, maybe I found a little house by you. I was overjoyed. I was really excited, and the more we thought about it, my mom is healthy now, but stairs are an issue. Would we be in 2 or 3 years looking at the same thing? Too much house, too much yard, not needing that much space. So my husband and I came to the conclusion that, boy, wouldn't it be nice if we built an in-law suite for my mom to live in, where if her health takes a turn, she would be connected to our home. But right now, while she is still healthy and very independent, she could, you know, start a new chapter here in Ohio. So that's why we are requesting to build to build an in-law suite onto our home. Where the variance request comes in is I have, having never done this before, I have contacted 3 different contractors to come to my home and give me advice on how we could go about doing this the most efficient way. And all of them said that it would be much better to build on the west side as opposed to the east side. The east side of my property, if you'll look at the drawing, does have more space. However, it also has, and the air conditioned unit is placed there. The 2 septic tanks are directly behind that area. There is no private entrance for my mother on that side of our house as opposed to a separate entrance on the west side. One contractor, and I hadn't even considered this, pointed out, if you look at that corner roof line, he said that is a very challenging roof line to make an addition onto. We would actually have to leave a little narrow passageway, and my window in my family room will be looking out to a dark hallway and then my mother's structure. And it would block all the light coming into the room that we probably spend the most time in our house. Also, there is no easy access to that side of the house from the driveway, and she would have to go up a steep embankment or steps. So if it would be okay with you, I thought I would go through, after reviewing what you take into consideration, I thought that I would review the Duncan factors and how my property, our situation relates to that. The first one, if the property, will the property yield a reasonable return, or can there be a beneficial use of the property without the variance? Yes, obviously we lived there 11 years. It's beneficial to my immediate family, but no, it would not be beneficial to my mother because if we can't build a suitable suite for her, I think we would be in a very short period of time looking to sell whatever she moves into, so that we could be closer together and I could care for my mom's needs. Is the variance substantial? It is 60%. I understand that that is substantial. The unique situation that I have is that it will not ever encroach upon any other structure. Because if you look at my property, there is a large gap to a driveway, then a median, and then another driveway. So there will never be a structure close because our neighbor who lives, he lives directly behind us. If they built on the driveway, it would block off his home. And again, there are 2 driveways next to each other. There will not be a structure there. So the variance being closer to the property line will actually still show a significant space.
Does he know that you came in for this?
Yes, they do, and I have letters of approval from the driveway owner. Also, I have a letter from my neighbor who also shares the driveway. And I even approached my neighbor just to the east and explained to him what my plans were. And he said, "I'm okay with that." And I have his number. He said, if you would like to call him, he's welcome to take your call. That answered number 3, substantial detriment. I have the neighbor's approval. Will the variance adversely affect the delivery of governmental services? No. Did the property owner, did I purchase it knowing the zoning restrictions? Yes, but 11 years ago, I did not anticipate or know the situation that my parents would be in. Can this problem be resolved by some manner other than granting the variance? As I stated earlier, it wouldn't be fiscally responsible. I would have to relocate septic tanks and air condition. And the house, when we purchased it, we didn't build, it was this way. It's offset on the property. Why that decision was made, I don't know. But if it was centered, I don't think I would even be standing here today. It wouldn't be an issue. And then finally, will the variance preserve the spirit and intent of zoning resolution, and will substantial justice be done by granting it? I believe so. Any questions?
Heather, if this gets approved, she is gonna have to pull a building permit, right? Is she gonna have to provide more detailed construction documents to the township for the addition?
Yes, we typically ask to see the actual construction documents that are submitted to the building department. So this
So-
was just a low-cost sketch by a company that she had contacted in order to just see if this would be approved.
But
prior
this
to-
6 foot, if we approve it, it's 6 foot, when they get into detailed design, they can't go, I mean, they have to meet that 6 foot.
Correct.
Okay. You guys have any questions?
No, I mean, it's pretty well covered in the presentation, which we should get those back over to.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang on to these.
Or you-
We're gonna enter these into the record
Okay.
for your appeal. I'll give those to Heather.
Mr. Chairman, can you indicate who they were from?
I would love to, Heather, but I cannot read their signatures.
Oh, they,
But
Their
they-
their names are written in the top of the letter.
In the letters.
Paul Erickson and
Oh,
Dave.
Dave,
Yeah.
yeah. Paul Erickson and Dave, how do you say Dave's last name?
I just always call him Dave.
Yeah, Dave P.
Dave P.
Dave and the sneeze.
Maybe I missed it. Have you had the property surveyed yet?
We have not.
Anyone? Well, good. You can be seated. Is there anyone else that's speaking for or against this appeal that'd like to come up? Okay, there's no further questions. The public hearing for variance number 2018-34 is now closed to the public. I will entertain a motion to approve variance number 2018-34.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, great. Discussion for the board?
Again, a significant variance, but a unique situation. I mean, this doesn't seem to have the impact, you know, if it were a traditional, that was the, you know, the next house and whatever, but I mean, with that safety valve in between, unless somebody starts getting into the back house in a helicopter, well, it's pretty much going to stay that way. I don't see it being a problem.
I tend to agree with Jim, and we've got both neighbors indicating their approval, so.
Yeah, I believe so. The area encroached, being two driveways adjacent. I don't see a problem.
And
Okay.
as long as none of the trees get removed, I don't even see how you're gonna see the extension of the house anyway. At least from the street, the neighbors don't mind, even with it, you still drive a 747 through there, it's gonna be plenty of room. So I don't see a huge issue.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't have anything to add. I think you guys covered it fairly well. Questions on approval of variance number PL 2018-34. Yes vote approves the variance and no vote denies it. Heather, please call the vote.
Mr. Galling?
Yes.
Mr. Rowe?
Yes.
Mr. Dines?
Yes.
Mr. Hamilton?
Yes.
And Mr. Valento?
Yes. Your variance has been approved.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you. Last on our agenda is the approval of meeting minutes from June 13, 2018. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All right. Any discussion regarding the minutes, additions, deletions?
Couldn't find any glaring whatevers. I don't know. It's like reading War and Peace, but
Yeah,
It was a long meeting.
yeah,
I wasn't here, I'll abstain.
okay. The question is on approval of the minutes from June 13, 2018. A yes vote approves the minutes, a no vote does not. All in favor of approving the minutes as written, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Anyone abstaining?
Staying.
Larry abstaining as
Abstain.
well. Thank you. The minutes have been approved as written. The Concord Township July meeting for the Board of Zoning Appeals is now closed to the public.